The two latest updates out of Pittsburgh are turning heads. On one hand, a rookie who hasn't even played a snap is already drawing comparisons and even praise over a familiar face. On the other, a veteran signing straight from a division rival is here to fill a hole no one expected this soon. Things are heating up in Latrobe, and preseason hasn't even started yet. If you're a true Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a thing. Let's get into the video. Will Howard hasn't even played a snap in the NFL yet, but the Steelers' rookie QB is already turning heads and outshining a familiar name in Pittsburgh, Kenny Pickett. Now let's not get ahead of ourselves. Howard's buried behind Aaron Rodgers and Mason Rudolph on the depth chart, so don't expect him to take the field anytime soon. But according to Brian Batko of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, Howard's first impression at training camp is already more polished than what we saw from Pickett when he rolled into Latrobe back in 2022. Batko jumped on 93.7 The Fan's morning show and didn't hold back. He described Howard as poised and basically said Pickett looked like the game was moving way too fast for him during his rookie camp, almost like the guys he was working with were on their way to jobs outside football. Nobody back then was screaming for Pickett to climb the depth chart. Fast forward to now, and Batko says it won't be long before Howard leapfrogs Skylar Thompson to become QB3. For those keeping score, Pickett did eventually settle in during that rookie summer. He worked his way up to the number 2 spot behind Mitch Trubisky and then took over as starter by week 5. But despite all the hype around him being a first-round pick, his time in Pittsburgh was underwhelming. The Steelers shipped him off to Philly in March, and he's now a Cleveland Brown after another offseason shuffle. Howard, on the other hand, was a 6th-round flyer in the 2025 NFL Draft, picked number 185 overall. He came into OTAs looking a little shaky, but since then, he's been climbing. His camp performance so far has been solid, and his college rep for being cool in the pocket seems to be translating just fine. There's no rush for the 23-year-old. With Rodgers and Rudolph in place, Howard's got time to develop, breathe, and keep stacking good days in practice. But if early signs mean anything, the kid might just be something for the Steelers to keep an eye on. And maybe, just maybe, the future at the position. And if Will Howard's early buzz got your attention, wait until you hear who just showed up at practice, a former Raven with real potential for 2025. The Steelers are making moves, and the latest addition has a familiar AFC North flavor. Veteran safety, Chuck Clark is officially rocking the black and gold. Pittsburgh announced the signing Friday, and just like that, Clark was out there at practice in Latrobe, wearing number 21 and adding a much-needed jolt to the safety group, especially after Minkah Fitzpatrick's surprise trade to the Dolphins last month. To make room, the Steelers waived defensive tackle Dominique Davis. Clark, 30, is no stranger to the AFC North grind. He spent 6 rock-solid seasons with the Ravens before heading to the Jets in 2023. Unfortunately, that stint got off to a rough start. He tore his ACL during OTAs and missed the whole year. But in 2024, he bounced back strong, suiting up in 12 games for the Jets and racking up 69 tackles, a couple pass deflections, a sack, and a forced fumble. Not too shabby for a guy coming off a major injury. Before his time in New York, Clark was a steady force in Baltimore's secondary. Drafted in the 6th round back in 2017 out of Virginia Tech, he carved out a starting role by 2019 and turned into one of the league's more underrated safeties. Over 96 games, 63 starts for the Ravens, he stacked up 384 tackles, 5 picks, and a whole bunch of plays that didn't always show up in the box score. Now he's got a real shot to crack the Steelers' 53-man roster. With Deshaun Elliott and Juan Thornhill penciled in as starters, Clark slides into a depth chart that includes Miles Killebrew, Sebastian Castro, and Quindell Johnson. His versatility's a big plus. He's lined up all over the field in his career. Nearly 1,900 snaps at free safety, 1,750 in the box, and 670 plus in the slot. That kind of flexibility is exactly what Pittsburgh could use right now. This latest signing is just part of a wild offseason for the Steelers. They've already brought in Aaron Rodgers, Darius Slay, DK Metcalf, Jonnu Smith, and Jalen Ramsey. Now, with Clark in the mix, the Steelers are clearly not sitting still. If Howard keeps this up, the future at QB might arrive sooner than expected. And Clark brings experience and flexibility right when the defense needs it. Like the updates? Subscribe now and stay locked in on the Steelers.